What is going on, everyone? Phil here, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Welcome to an exciting new week of gameplay streams here on DSPGaming, and welcome to what will undoubtedly be a very special stream because, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to hit my 1,000th win in Street Fighter 6 on this very session of gameplay. I'm very excited. I hope that you guys are too. Today is Friday, the 7th of July, 2023. I am Darkside Phil, and welcome to Street Fighter Friday. That's right, for the last several Fridays, I've been playing Street Fighter all day long, that particular day, with two separate sessions of gameplay. Sometimes I've split it up between a new character and a character that I've already used. Sometimes I've played with a new character all day long, and this week we're mixing it up again. This week, I am not picking a new character today. Today, I want to focus solely on fighters that I've used before and trying to level up and do better with them. And we'll talk about that a little bit in a moment. Excuse me. In addition, yesterday was my day off, so we'll talk a little bit about that. We have a major schedule change to this weekend that I needed to discuss and let you guys know what's happening with that, simply because there are, a large group of people who are interested in a particular show that I do every week, and it has to change its date for reasons of fairness. All right, we'll talk all about that right here on the show. But in the meantime, I hope that you all are doing well. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed the day yesterday when I was not live streaming. It was my day off, and I have, some stuff to talk about there. If you watched any content, I hope you enjoyed. And now we come back to a full week of streams again, and this is an epic week because not only will I be making big progress in Street Fighter 6, hitting my 1,000th win and beyond, but we're going to be completing likely 2 of my ongoing playthroughs that we've now been playing for a freaking month, which means finally we will have some new stuff into the rotation for variety. I'm very aware that many people have been upset about the rotation, saying that Street Fighter 6 is one thing. If you like fighting games, you're probably really enjoying my coverage of Street Fighter 6. But not everyone likes fighting games. And for those that don't, I've literally been playing the same 3 RPGs now. In one case for about a month and a half, in another case for about a month, and in another case for about 2 weeks, but I'm barely playing it because I'm balancing with everything else and there's not enough time to really focus on it. So, yeah, I hear you. If you're here for variety like you usually would get on DSPGaming, sadly you weren't really getting it in the last month and a half. And, I'm sorry about that. Again, we've talked about this many times over the last 30 days. It's because of the game release timing. They all decided, all these game publishers and studios decided to release their insanely lengthy RPGs within 1 month. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Diablo 4, and Final Fantasy 16 within 1 month is RPG overload and is just too effing much. They really should not have done that. They should have looked at the gaming landscape and said, hey, if we want to release these RPGs and not have them cut into each other and not have them cannibalize each other, then we've got to spread them out. But they didn't do that at all. Within the month of June, that's the other thing that gets me too. June, where typically it's not an exciting gaming month. You've got all these big events to announce all the new games that are coming out or whatever and get all of those release dates set in stone. All of a sudden, they released all their RPGs at the same time. Like, what on earth are they doing? So, I've been doing my best, and as you know as well, but, when Zelda was coming out, I posed the question, what should I play and what shouldn't I? Well, everyone absolutely demanded that I play Zelda. Like, Zelda is a must-play. If you don't play it, you're really missing out on a Game of the Year contender. Okay, I'll play it then. So I do. But then Street Fighter 6 is coming out, which I told you guys I absolutely was going to play. And then Diablo's coming out. And I said to all of you, maybe Diablo's a skip. Maybe this is a game that doesn't make sense right now. There wouldn't be enough time to really focus on it, especially because Diablo is known to be a game that once you beat the main story, there's so much post-game content, and that's really where it's at. Maybe we should say, no, you must play Diablo at launch. You must cash in on the hype. You must this. Okay. All right. And then when that happens, of course, Final Fantasy 16 comes out again. No, you must play it. And I'm just like, you're at the point where you get so much demand for everything, but then you shoot yourself in the foot, which is what's happened. When it's literally either I'm playing a fighting game or I'm playing an insanely lengthy RPG, the variety is missed. And the funny part is, even if you look at the RPGs, they're very different. Zelda is completely different from a game like Diablo, which is completely different from a game like Final Fantasy 16. But sadly, there are people who just don't like the RPG stuff. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's an Americanized RPG, like, say, Fallout or Elder Scrolls, they don't really have interest in these other RPGs. I guess you could call them more Japanese-centric RPGs, correct? Although, you know, Blizzard is not, you know, with Diablo. But you see the point I'm making is that without enough variety, things will stagnate. And here's the thing. In the last month, things have gone well on DSPGaming in regards to Street Fighter 6, okay? Overall, my attendance on Street Fighter streams is high. My support on Street Fighter streams is usually high. But everything else has waned. We've lost a ridiculous amount of members on the channel. Before this month started, we were 800 members. We're now at 480, and that's only because this morning, I should give a huge shout out, as I was booting the stream up, Nathan Smith gifted 40 memberships to the channel this morning. 40. And that helps a ton. Thank you so much, Nathan, for supporting DSPGaming. I really appreciate that. And if you're someone who got a gifted membership this morning from Nathan, be sure to thank him for his generosity. It is always awesome when someone comes in and supports the community in a big way. So the point I'm making here is, in this last month, I've gotten more complaints than anything else from people who just like the variety and don't feel like they've gotten it. And I'm like, well, that's because I did what I was told by my viewing audience. You know, I could have easily said, forget Diablo or forget, you know, Final Fantasy, and we'll do something different instead. And likely then, I also would have gotten the criticism. This is what happens when you're a variety creator like me. You're kind of at the mercy of game release dates. And there's always hype around a big new release, and sadly, you can't just please everyone when they're all at once. It was insanely bad release timing for these companies releasing their RPGs. If anything, you know, I gave Street Fighter 6 a good amount of time, right? We can all agree there. Even though it's funny, I have not played Street Fighter 6 as much as the average person who's trying to play this game and make any content about it or anything like that. That's just true. Most people playing Street Fighter 6 have played it all month, almost nonstop. They focused in on one or two characters that they consider their mains, who they tried to get up to Diamond or Master level, and they have constantly just sat there learning and streaming. For me, this is the game that's balanced with everything else. Even though I play Street Fighter 6 a lot, every night stream is usually something different, with the exception of Friday Night Fights, and then every other day stream is something different, right? So, for me, even playing as much of Street Fighter 6 as I had, it's been hard to satisfy, you know. The good news is, 2 of these lengthy RPGs are about to conclude this week. So, with 2 concluding, we now have options to determine what is it that we would like to put into the rotation for variety purposes and break things up so it's not the same games anymore. And I am hoping, admittedly, that this will bring back some attention to the channel. This will bring some people back who maybe were not around in the month of June because they didn't care about fighting games and the RPGs were too boring to them. And hopefully we'll get some more support back as well in the realm of channel side support. Because I'll tell you, the daily streams have been good and tips and everything have been great. But this month, I saw a big decline in things like super chats and memberships. And that's not good. But there's not much I could do about it when I'm doing as much as I possibly can to juggle and play all the new releases. But they're all just more of the same game, you see? So, let's see how it goes. But I'm excited for this week for sure, okay? So welcome back, everyone. By the way, thank you to Luthace, who just gifted 10 memberships to the channel. That's another 10-member bomb. Excuse me, because my allergies today are acting up. I'm just gonna be honest with everyone. All right, I'm really looking forward to today's stream, and I hope it goes well because I'm kind of stressed out right now, and I'm gonna explain a little bit about that, but not everything right now. But I'm kind of stressed out about certain things going on in my personal life, and I'm hoping that today's stream can be a productive one where we hit our 1,000th win, where I level up Blanca, where I pull off some impressive stuff. And by the way, I'm not saying that I'm gonna win nonstop. I don't think so. When you're in diamond ranking, right? Like, oh, by the way, this one tuft of hair is uncontrollable. No matter what I do, this one tuft of hair just does whatever it wants. You notice that? But anyway, no, like, I know it's going to be hard. Like, people are saying, once you get to diamond level in Street Fighter 6, you got the sweats. Like, people who literally have played so much nonstop to try to level up and maintain their ranks, that every little moment is a freaking try-hard moment. And every moment is a crazy, you know, watch this moment. And there's not much you can do about that. I'm going to do my best to still hang with Blanca. Today's my best character is Blanca in the game, for sure, by far. I haven't played with him now seriously, in over 2 weeks. I did use him in casual play about a week ago. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm really hoping that today's stream will be entertaining, be fun, that we could be celebrating a 1,000th win. Right now, just so you know, because we're going to go over this in a minute, but we're less than 20 wins away from getting my 1,000th win. I need 19 more wins, and I've got 1,000 wins in Street Fighter 6. That is so exciting, right? And I can't wait to hit it and have that milestone with all of you today on stream. It's going to be a great time. All right, where do we even begin? Where should we begin? Let's start with my day off. Let's get the day off segment out of the way. Then we'll talk about what's going to go down today and stuff like that. We'll talk about the weekend schedule, which changed now. All right, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I have a couple news stories to cover today as well. If we end the podcast on the earlier side, so be it. So we can get more gameplay with Blanca. I'd be down for that. I guess we'll see what happens. Okay. So, let's talk. So let's see here. Yesterday was my day off from streaming, and during that day, all right, weather was incredibly warm. Like, I had stuff that I need to do, and it was so hot outside that I actually limited what I was doing because it was in the mid-90s. You know, when it gets that hot, it's not really feasible to be out all day. You know, I'm not like it's Florida weather or whatever, but out here we're not used to that kind of heat. So basically, I limited the amount of stuff that I wanted to do during my day off because of the heat. And so all day we had the air conditioners blasting in the house. And, you know, I went out and ran my errands, which included, you know, grocery shopping, pet supplies, and the like. Did all the usuals. Nothing too particularly crazy or anything like that. But I will say this, Jasper, he's been a terror these last couple of days. Because it's been so hot, I think his behavior changes, right? This happens with cats, is when things distinctly change in the environment, then they change their behaviors as well. And what we've noticed is two things. Number one, he wakes up early, like way earlier than when we need to get up. And he's waking us up like, Jasper, we're not getting up now. Like, why are you doing this? We're not getting up right now. You know, that's number one. And number two, he's been acting up and really, really demanding a lot of attention. Like, every waking moment, he wants attention from us. And if we don't give it to him, then he starts to try to misbehave because he knows if he misbehaves and does things he's not supposed to do, he'll get our attention. You know what I mean? So, it's tough. And, you know, without going into massive detail about it, because I don't need you to know the ins and outs of what our cat does. But basically, he has been kind of getting us on our wits' end. It's funny because when he's with us and we're relaxing and, you know, he's purring and he wants pets or whatever, that's cute. But then it's like, okay, Jasper, we got to do something now. We're in the middle of doing something. You know, we can't be with you every moment. Oh, but that's it. He's dancing all over everything right in front of us where he's not supposed to be. He jumps on things and goes places and tries to eat things he knows he's not supposed to eat. But he's doing it on purpose, you know. He wants that attention, that love. And that's why I tell you guys, we are not planning on getting another pet while we have Jasper. Reason being, he 100% is the kind of pet that is ultra demanding of all attention. He wants to be the center of attention in the house. This is a personality type for certain cats where they absolutely need to be 100% the focus of everything. And if they're not, they're very upset. They're known to act out. They're known to do naughty things if they're not. So can you imagine if right now he's the only pet in the house, right? And we're giving him a lot of attention constantly. And the moments we don't, he's already acting up. Can you imagine if we got another cat or if we got a dog, you know what I'm saying? And we got another pet that's now taking attention away from him. Those moments, he would go crazy. He'd probably try to destroy the house, right? He'd probably be pooping and peeing all over the place. He'd probably be, you know, purposefully trying to eat things or vomiting, making himself vomit to get attention. And that's not good, obviously. That's bad. You know, that's why you don't know what you sign up for when you get a pet. And by the way, I'm not complaining. He's an amazing cat and an awesome pet. But yeah, times like this, especially when you get a situation where, you know, you think things should be nice and calm. It's summertime. We're going to relax. It's the opposite. He's got us on our wits' end, you know, causing problems and just in general constantly kind of trying misbehavior. Wake up in the early in the morning. No, we're not getting up now, Jasper. It's supposed to be our day off. Why are you waking us up so early in the morning? You know? So then on top of that, and here's the thing, this is going to lead into our schedule for the weekend. I made an announcement yesterday during the day that the schedule for the weekend is changing. It is. Normally, as you guys know, every Saturday, I do a show called DSP versus the Internet. This is my weekly Clips React show on my sister channel, DSP Reacts, where the channel members on that channel nominate clips, and we watch them live, and that's the premise of the show, is me live reacting to content once a week. It's a great show. I enjoy it for variety purposes, and the thing is, the only reason the show works is because of the buy-in of the members, you know, people becoming a member on the channel and then nominating the clips. So this week's no exception. You know, people nominated a bunch of clips. I haven't made the playlist yet. Typically, I would do it Friday night, and then Saturday, the daytime stream is our show. Well, here's what happened, and without giving you details, I've learned from experience something very important, okay? Here's what I've learned. Do not publicly speak about a situation until that situation is resolved, or at least you have the vast majority of information about it finished, so that way you can definitively talk about something with an outcome rather than have it being an open-ended thing, right? And without explaining too much, basically the way I see it is the less information I give you right now, the better, until a situation is resolved, and then I can tell you the whole story. Because then it's a better story, because you know what happened with it, you see? So that's what I'm doing. Essentially, let me just put it this way. Yesterday, something happened during my day off. Now I am going to be interrupted no matter what during tomorrow afternoon. And there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. There's no way around it. I can't change it. I can't reschedule it. I have to be interrupted tomorrow afternoon. Okay? So that being said, if I'm going to be interrupted, it makes more sense to be interrupted during a gameplay stream, where there is no time constraints on how much gameplay or whatever we're doing, versus a stream that I only do once a week that's tied to support on a channel, and if I have time away from that stream, people are disappointed because we watched less clips. You understand? DSP versus the Internet is supposed to be a guaranteed 3-hour show. So if I get interrupted during that show, that's not fair to those who paid to be a part of that show. Do you understand what I'm saying? And so because of that, that's why I have to change the schedule around for the weekend. If I'm going to be interrupted during gameplay, big deal. We can easily play more of the game at any time in the future. But once a week, these people are contributing and waiting to have their clips watched. And if I don't watch them because, you know, I get interrupted, that's messed up. So that's why we juggled it around. Here's how it goes. Normally tomorrow would be DSP versus the Internet and then a late night stream. But instead, tomorrow's going to be gameplay. We're going to do Final Fantasy 16, which absolutely is going to get interrupted at some point. And then we're going to do the conclusion of Diablo 4 tomorrow night, which we'll talk about in a second, because I'm sure we're beating the game, and I'm going to tell you why. Then, on Sunday will be DSP versus the Internet on DSP Reacts. So I'm trying to get the word out. I already updated the schedules everywhere, and I posted up on DSP Reacts as well, so people would know. But I'm trying to get the word out. I don't want people to show up on Saturday and be like, oh no, where's the React show? I can't attend on Sunday, so this sucks because this is my once a week to get my clip watched, and now I can't watch it, right? So I hope that's not the case, but, you know, it is what it is. It happened yesterday, so I couldn't have changed the schedule or given any more advance notice than I did. As soon as this happened, I ran and posted up so you guys knew. So that's the deal, all right? So we'll go through the schedule in a moment to explain exactly what the schedule is for the weekend, but we're flipping the days. Now, here's the thing. Maybe, do you guys think that maybe the React show works better on Sunday anyway? Because if my day off is going to be Thursdays, you know, for now anyway, if I come back and all day Friday is Street Fighter, but then Saturday is the React show, essentially it means all other games are on hold for like several days. Maybe it makes more sense to have the React show on Sunday anyway. That way I get 2 days of gameplay in before I take any kind of a break away to do the React content. However, that will change things for marathons, because my marathons that I've been doing have always been on Sundays, but they would have to flip to Saturdays. Okay? So, all I would say is think about it. You know, I don't know if we should flip permanently or not. All right? It's up to you guys. Go from there. All right? I don't know. think about it. But anyway, it has to flip for this weekend, okay, because of this reason. But then everything gets back to normal Monday, and we have 3 full days of streaming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, okay? So not only do we have Jasper kind of driving us nuts here these last few days, but then I got other things going on, and now my schedule's thrown into disarray and everything, and it's just like stress on stress on stress, and it's annoying. It is. I'm happy to be jumping back into gameplay today. Hopefully everything today goes well. We have a good session of Street Fighter. Getting my 1000th win should be special. And in addition to that, hopefully leveling up Blanca, maybe getting better with him. I have watched some videos for some tech. Essentially, I've seen some of the best things you could do with Blanca and some of his best normals that you should use, whether it's a drive rush or, quarter mix-ups with the Blanca-chan. I've seen some interesting things, and also I'm going to try to implement a few other things into my gameplay. For example, the aerial Blanca ball. A lot of people fall for it because it's fast and no one really uses it that much. So if you jump back and the enemy's in your face, you could do aerial Blanca ball. If it hits, great. If it doesn't, you kind of have frame advantage to do either hit string, or you could even do like drive impact. So I got some strategies I want to implement in today's gameplay based on some video footage I've seen of the top Blancas out there, and I'm hoping that I can implement it. We'll see. Okay. So without further ado, I think now is a good time to do it. Let's do the schedule for the week so you guys know what to expect, all right? So here we go. Today, the first stream, first of all, Street Fighter Friday, which means Street Fighter all day long. My first stream is the Blanca Bonanza event. All this first stream, I'll be playing with Blanca, only ranked matches. So 100% trying to level up my Blanca, improve his standing in the Diamond ranks. Right now, he's only Diamond 1 star. But if we do well today, maybe we can even get him up to Diamond 2 star. That would be pretty sweet. I don't know if we will, but we'll try. Okay? By the way, Nathan just gifted 10 more memberships to the channel. Thank you so much, Nathan. You have been very, very generous and supportive this morning to DSPGaming, and I really appreciate that. Because now we've gotten ourselves up back over to 505 membership, or excuse me, to over 500 memberships, which is great progress because we were under 500 for about a week there, and now we're back above, and I really appreciate that. Again, guys, if you were gifted a membership by Nathan, be sure to thank him for his generosity. Thank you so much, Nathan, for supporting the community. This is a great way to start today, let me tell you, because, like I said, things have been down around here for about a week or a couple of weeks with everything just being RPG, 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 or Street Fighter. So, okay, so the first stream is the Blanca Bonanza, but in addition, yes, during this stream, unless I literally go on a non-stop losing streak, which hopefully doesn't happen, I'm going to get my 1,000th win. I need 19 more. So that's going to be epic to see what was my 1,000th win and celebrate it with all of you. I'm sure it's going to be a glorious feeling. And then we can move on and say, what's the next milestone? Is it 2,000, right? And we'll go for that and see how long it takes me to hit that, okay? So that's today. Now, the late stream tonight is more Street Fighter 6, but what do? Well, in my opinion, I think tonight I should either do a stream with Lily or Marisa. I haven't played with either character seriously in a while. Lily longer. Marisa has been a little bit, but I could go back and learn a little more. I'm definitely thinking either one would work well for a late night 2-hour stream of Friday Night Fights. But we'll think about it. Maybe you guys give me your opinions today. Would you rather see Lily, who I haven't played in a while, or Marisa, who you haven't played in a while, right? And go from there. Let me know what you think for the late stream. Tomorrow, since the schedule is now different, listen up. On Saturday, the first stream will be the Level 1 podcast, followed by Final Fantasy 16. However, during the afternoon, we are absolutely going to be interrupted. There is nothing can be done about it. I don't know exactly the time yet, but once it happens, and we're going to have to take a break. And I will tell you, obviously, when the break is over and we're coming back for more gameplay. Unless it happens at the very tail end of the stream, in which case we'll probably just adjourn the stream early. Wouldn't make sense to try to cram in, just a little bit of gameplay at the end of the stream. We'll see. So it is going to be a shorter first stream tomorrow of Final Fantasy 16, but I'll do my best to make some progress in the game and hopefully have developments and stuff while we stream. Tomorrow night's late stream is the conclusion of Diablo 4. And I can absolutely guarantee you tomorrow night is the conclusion, and here's why. Because my wife beat the game yesterday, and she beat it when I was out running errands. We actually timed it this way. So she was playing it, and she got up to the point where I basically stopped playing the other night, where I fought that giant boss, the Pestilence or whatever it was. And basically when I finished that, I said, I'm going, that's a checkpoint. When we play again, this is where we'll resume. Well, My wife kept playing past that point. I left, so I wasn't spoiled. And when I came back from my, errands out, a few hours errands, she's like, yep, I beat it while you were gone. It took about an hour and a half, and you should definitely beat it next time you play. She didn't spoil the ending. In fact, she's actually excited to talk to me about the ending of the game when I beat it tomorrow night. So, kind of holding off on our talking and discussing about the game till we actually beat it on Saturday night. But that will be it now. Already people say, well, you do post-game. Do you really want to see me do post-game dungeon grinding in this game when I played it for a month to beat it and all people did was complain? Right? Well, the way I see it is, will I eventually maybe go back to it? We'll leave it as a maybe. For now, I think good that I'm going to finish the story. Let's definitely finish it for now. And then I believe what people are saying is, I guess there's going to be seasonal content in the game. I think it starts on like the 20th of this month or something like that. So maybe when that happens, we'll go back, we'll reassess and see what's going on with it and see if we want to do it or not. But for now, I think getting a little break from it is going to be a good thing so we can focus on other things, okay? So the conclusion of Diablo 4's story mode is tomorrow night, and then we can give the game a little bit of a rest, all right? Now, as I've already explained, since we're swapping the streams around, that means Sunday, there's going to be a Level 1 podcast followed by DSP versus the Internet on DSP React. There is no late stream on Sunday. So Sunday is essentially just the React show, and that's it. Now, I will say this. It would be great if we can get some support for the React show. And what I mean by that is that show primarily is supported by memberships on the channel of DSP Reacts. Typically, when I stream that, I get almost no support on that live stream. It's usually dead for support. Maybe I'll get 1 or 2 tips. Maybe I'll get 1 or 2 super chats. But typically, it's like super slow and dead, which is fine. The support for that channel, again, is coming from the memberships. But it would be great to get some support because that's the only stream I'm even doing tomorrow. Tomorrow night, I have to film private React videos for patrons, and that's going to take up my entire night session. So all we're doing on Sunday is DSP versus the Internet. That's it. Okay? But then I'll come back on Monday, full force, with a full session of Street Fighter 6, paired with a late night session of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as we attempt to complete the 5th and final dungeon and head into the end game. Will I beat the game on Monday night? Probably not. What people are saying is this dungeon can get quite challenging, and it might take me the rest of the stream to just beat the final dungeon. And then we got the final fight, which is actually quite the trek to get, I guess, to Ganondorf and then fight him. So likely 2 more streams to beat Zelda, I'm thinking. We'll see, but we'll see what happens Monday night. Okay? Tuesday's daytime stream will be a uninterrupted stream of Final Fantasy 16. Tuesday night will be something new, because if we beat Diablo on Saturday night, this frees up a night stream. Now, being that there's only going to be one of these streams during the week, maybe we shouldn't go too crazy. And I'm thinking maybe, for variety's sake, that night we can actually do a stream of Street Fighter 6's World Tour mode, which we have not played now in a month. So maybe do 2 hours of chill late night gaming in World Tour mode, try to level up my avatar, learn some abilities, gain some experience, and just kind of chill on that late stream, because that stream should be very chill, okay? And then final stream, or streaming day of the week, Wednesday, will be Street Fighter 6 on the day stream, and the night stream will be the conclusion of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, which means next week we will have all of the night streams open to do whatever. We could do the Return of Elden Ring. We could start Amnesia the Bunker. We could play more of the Street Fighter 6 World Tour mode. I am open to suggestions of something from you guys, all right? Whatever I want suggestions of what you would like me to see me do over the month of July, now that we're going to have these slots freed up, okay? So let's go from there and let's see what happens. The only thing that I will say is this, all right? I am very curious about your feedback regarding Final Fantasy 16, and here's what I mean. The game started off very interesting and strong, and since then it's kind of fizzled out. And like I've told you guys, it seems like every time I play Final Fantasy 16, half of the stream is boring as dirt, and everyone is bored to tears, the viewers and me. And then the other half seems interesting. Do we really want to play a lengthy RPG where 50% of our time is bored to tears? But sadly, it seems like that's the game they made. I don't know what they were fucking thinking, but that's kind of the game they made. It's really weird, because it seems like the opinions on Final Fantasy 16 on the internet are completely opposite. There's one group of people who think this is like the best Final Fantasy they've ever played. They're madly in love with the game and think it's the game of the year. And the other half are like, this game is fucking shitty. I don't know what they did. They ruined Final Fantasy because they made it so much based on the narrative, and the narrative is boring half the time, and we don't know what they were thinking with these fucking cutscenes, and the game sucks. And it's so weird to see that split. You know what I'm saying? It's very odd. But I bought it. I spent $70 on this damn game. And I've already committed 15 plus hours to it. If you remember the last time we played it, there was a time lapse, and essentially now we're entering Act 2, which is really where the game begins. So the way I would say it is, listen, we're definitely going to continue to play the game this week. Let's judge based off of the 2 streams I'm doing this week, whether or not this is something you want to see me continue. If it really is so boring by the end of the week that we're just burnt out on it, we don't have to continue. We could do something else, all right? And I'm okay with that. But I want to be sure we're all on the same page here, because there seem to be some people that every time I play it, oh, don't worry, the better part's coming. All right, well, we're 15 hours in. When's the better part, right? Maybe it's now, because we just hit Act 2, so maybe now is when the better part comes, right? I guess we'll see, but to me, like I said, it's not that I'm not enjoying. There are parts I very much enjoyed, but I'm a streamer. I'm a content creator. I'm an entertainer. I'm supposed to be doing stuff that entertains, not forcibly forcing myself to play a game for 2 hours before I get to an hour of enjoyment, and the entire stream feels the same way as me. I don't know what they were thinking, but I don't think they've heard of pacing before. I don't think they understand the concept of pacing. Whoever made this game really fucked it up, because they easily could have cut out a bunch of this nonsense and made the game way more interesting, and they really took way too long to get to the meat of the game, and really have had issues with their story being drawn out in an entertaining fashion. They could have done a lot better. I think it's kind of sad that the writing is the problem, right? Like, the writing and the elaboration of the story is the problem. If the story had been more streamlined and more, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyway, I'm not giving up on it this week, okay? I want to keep playing it for this week and determine by the end of the week, do we want to continue with this game or not? So let's work on that together. Let's actually, definitively explore this game together this week and see if it gets to a point where we want to continue. I'm hoping that because we hit Act 2, now it will be more interesting. I guess we'll see. Okay? This really baffles me. High's Darkness just said, I think maybe the game isn't for you. Out of all the people I've watched play it, they love the world building and pacing. Okay, question. Honestly, what do they do for the 2 hours where they're doing bullshit? If let's say they play 4-hour streams, 2 hours of their stream, they're talking to townspeople that have nothing to fucking do with anything. They have nothing to do with the plot. They're bullshitting. They're wasting time, running around doing fetch quests. They're getting combs. You know what I mean? How do you find entertainment in that? No, really, I mean it now, Maybe they just are, like, young and they have, like, infinite time. I'm 41 years old. If I'm playing a game, I want to be enjoying myself. I don't want to be wasting time on your menial shit, Every game cannot be, oh, this is now the game you play for 2 months straight. It's an insane time investment of your life. And God forbid you're looking for something fun to do. You're just invested and you should enjoy every moment of every little menial thing we put into the game. No. Game developers should be looking to entertain first, not fill time. Too many game developers are looking to fill time and put a stamp on their game saying 100 hours of gameplay when half of that gameplay is not meaningful. That just drives me crazy, right? It's just fucking nuts, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. So let's see. Again, let's see. I don't want to give up on the game. It's becoming too difficult for me to entertain an audience for a game that's full of boredom and bloat. That's what it is, bloat. It's bloated content, not needed. They just say, cut the fat. Get the fat off of there and just give me the lean, delicious stuff. I don't need to know about the fucking farmer who lives down the street who grows a bunch of plums and he has problems watering his plums. So you need to go defeat the freaking random enemies in the field that are blocking the stream that water his plums, and it takes 20 minutes to do this quest. It's fucking boring. It's dumb. It's boring. It's stupid. It's not fun. Sorry. It adds nothing. Here's really what you have to ask yourself, right? So I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. Last stream, for the first time, the game opened up, and they let you travel to any part of the map. And all these side quests opened up, right? And I said to my audience, should I do these side quests, right? Because here's the thing. If this game's like Witcher 3, and if these side quests are meaningful and have interesting plots to them, and there's world building, and they're critical, and they'll give you some good rewards in these cases, I will do them, right? Here's what I was told by my audience. No, you can literally skip every side quest up to this point. They're all boring. They're all trivial. They're all meaningless. They're just meant to kind of give side additional lore that really doesn't matter to the main plot of the game at all. And you get no rewards for them of any. It's just a waste of time. So I just said, fuck it then. And I continued with the story. Next thing you know, there's a time lapse. We're 5 years later. And I realized they were correct. I could have spent 4 hours in an open world doing every little trivial, meaningless piece of side content. And there still would have been the time lapse. And all those people would have been erased from existence. And none of it mattered. Like, wow. I don't know, man. See, here's the thing. I'm going to directly respond to this. Anso Kamaru says, it adds plenty. People want to enjoy a game and immerse themselves in the lore. None of the side quests are boring. There are plenty of side quests that tie directly to the story. The few side quests we've done were insanely boring. We haven't done a single side quest that's been meaningful, and I did a few of them, and every one of them was just a time waster with literally nothing added to the lore of the game. It's just boring. We've done a few. Everyone was boring. Hand gruel to the guy who's hungry on a bench. It's fucking boring. All right? It's a waste. You know, kill these generic enemies, get an item out in the field, trade it in. Boring. Save this guy who's lost in the field surrounded by enemies. Boring. Doesn't add anything. It's a side story for the sake of having a side story. Now you say, world building and immersion. Okay? Here's what I consider being immersed. Playing any game for 30 to 40 hours is immersive to me. Because that's an experience that takes such an amount of time that I feel familiar in a part of the world. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I'm just about to hit the 50-hour mark. I feel like I've been a part of this world for a month and a half. I feel immersed in it. I do. Now you can say, but Phil, actually Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has 100 hours of content and you skipped 50 hours. Who cares? I played the game for 50 hours. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've enjoyed the main dungeons. I've enjoyed the lore. I enjoyed the exploration aspect of getting all the Tears of the Dragon, right? That was fun. All the, what are they called? Geoglyphs. And, you know, getting all the towers and all that. It was fun. It really was. Genuinely, I enjoyed it. Some of the sky temples and things was fun. Now, I skipped 40 hours of side content. Does it matter? I was immersed. I had a great time. And when I beat this game, I have just as much of a legitimate reason to review it as anyone else. Just because there's 40 more hours of content doesn't make it more immersive. It makes it more time consuming. If you want to immerse yourself in that and consume more of your time. But when you're someone who's trying to enjoy a variety of games in a set time frame, that doesn't matter. Do you understand what I'm saying? Final Fantasy 16 attempts to immerse you in the world, and that's great, but don't immerse me with a bunch of boring, menial shit. Immerse me with things that mean something. Actual world building, not the guy has to take a shit and I have to find a way to clean the outhouse for him. That's boring. No one cares about that in 2023. That's shit they used to do back in the day, early days of RPGs. Why did they do that? Because back then, games were limited. You could only store a certain amount of data on a cartridge or a disc. So what they did is they would put in menial quests to pad the length of their games because they couldn't program in enough original assets to have original content but make the game longer. Those old fetch quests, those old kill a certain amount of monster quests existed to add world building when they couldn't fit more assets into the game to world build properly. We don't have that excuse anymore, but game developers are following the same tropes because they're not original, because they don't have enough creativity. They just follow the same shit they've always been doing. It's boring. Sorry, it's 2023. Wasting half my time on your menial grindy shit is fucking boring. It doesn't actually make my game experience better. It just wastes my time. And I'm done with it at this point. I will criticize when it's valid. Yes, Tears of the Kingdom is a great game and also has a bunch of bloated, boring, unspecific, time-wasting content that just annoys you if you're trying to actually get progress in the game. Final Fantasy 16 seems to be exactly the same. Stop wasting my fucking time. My time is valuable. I don't have time to waste. I'm getting older. Give me fun experiences, not waste of my fucking life. I demand more as a gamer. Sorry, I deserve it. I paid my money. I didn't want to waste my fucking time playing your boring shit. Seriously, I boot up fucking Final Fantasy 16. There better be something on every stream that entertains me. If not, the game developer failed, not me. Yesterday, someone left a comment on my video that drove me nuts. Here's what they said, all right? So let me get this straight, Phil. You went to the Great Fairy, and you don't have, in 50 hours of gameplay, enough moblin horns to do a basic armor upgrade. Wow. To which I responded to the comment, yeah, wow. How is that a shortcoming of me? I played the game for 50 hours, and Nintendo didn't make it so that the item drops. Nintendo made the game, not me. You're right. In 50 hours of gameplay, you should have just gotten the items to do basic armor upgrades. It shouldn't have been more of a time investment of 50 fucking hours of your life to do a basic upgrade. Your comment completely proves my point about these games. You did it. You hit it on the head. Nintendo should have made it more valuable time. No, you kill a million enemies and rarely do you get an item you actually need for anything constructive. Well then fuck it, you failed. I should be getting the items. I didn't avoid combat the whole game. I beat every dungeon. I fought all the mobs along the way. Why the fuck don't I have upgrade items? Because Nintendo failed, not me. Don't blame the gamer for not wanting to waste more of their life in the game. They already invested enough time. We got to be reasonable at this point and stop fucking kissing the ass of the game developers because you're fanboys of the fucking genre. Stop it. Really, fucking stop it. It's nuts that we keep defending this. We should demand better for our time. Not, oh, everyone gets a fucking pass. No, demand better and we'll get better games. Imagine if Zelda Tears of the Kingdom was 100 hours and all 100 hours was interesting narrative and extrapolation and fun and not just wander in circles wondering if you'll ever get the item you need to upgrade. Or, gee, did I stumble upon a stables that starts a critical quest line that's important to the fucking upgrade tree? No. Just fucking make the game 100 hours of meaningful content. Cut out your 40 hours of fat bullshit. But instead, people just continue to kiss the ass. You kiss the ass, you'll get more bloat, you'll get more boredom, and you'll sit here on a stream, wow, we're so excited for Final Fantasy 16. And we start to play like, what the fuck's going on? Why are we still in a cutscene? Why are we talking to the townspeople again? Just fucking do something. You're putting me to sleep. I paid $70 for this. Okay. Anyway, obviously I've gone on a rant, but the rant is warranted. If anything, this last month has proven the fact that these RPGs today aren't streamlined enough to be entertaining to any kind of an audience because they waste too much time. Even being interactive with you guys, because, you know, when we're getting bored with these games, of course I'm talking with you and we're having a good time interacting, but still, cut the bloat. Fuck, man. And that's the other thing, too, that's hilarious about Tears of the Kingdom. Nintendo justified Tears of the Kingdom being $70 by saying it's $70 because it's 100 hours long. Your game is not 100 hours long. It's not. Your game is around 50 hours long. You put in 50 hours of bullshit and then you charge more money for it. Then don't give me 50 hours of bullshit. I'll pay the normal price for the streamlined game that's fun. And that way I don't have to put up with your excuse for why you had to charge me more money. Because that's the other catch there too, right? Unbelievable. And here's the other funny part of people being stupid too. Phil just wants a game that's on rails. Couldn't be further from the truth. What was the most fun part that I had in Final Fantasy 16 so far? The first time we went to a map and the game let you explore. Instead of just being on rails, there was optional areas to go and fight enemies, little mini bosses and stuff. That was the most fun part because it felt like Final Fantasy for the first time in the whole game. But that felt meaningful. It did. It, like, oh, I can choose to explore if I so choose. I can go off. I can look for optional items. I can do all this stuff. Now, admittedly, to find out all the optional items I picked up were worthless because they're just crafting items you don't even use, that pissed me off. But it was still fun to be able to have that freedom to explore, right? There's a difference between, oh, there's optional content that's fun because I choose to do it, or you sat through 20 hours of boring cutscenes that have nothing to do with the story. Big difference. Just, like, holy shit. Can we stop with the nonsense? People are crazy today, man. Everything is the game defense force, right? Well, Phil's just a hater. I'm not a hater. I want better experiences for me and you. I want our time to be better invested in meaningful gameplay experiences because this is now the biggest entertainment medium in the world, right? Imagine if you went to see a movie and it's a 2.5-hour movie, and out of that movie, 1 hour and 45 minutes, you are bored to tears, but there's one really good sequence of a half an hour. Would you say it's a good movie? No. Everyone would say that movie sucked. The pacing was bad, the writing was bad, but yet games are exactly that, but we all give them a pass. That's fine. Why do you think people are so bored with Final Fantasy 16 on my streams? Because the game's fucking boring. There's too much fucking bullshit. It's bad, boring bullshit. Cut it out. Give me good stuff. You want to know a game that blew me away that was streamlined? Mafia 2. Mafia 2 is a game that almost has no side content whatsoever. But every moment you're playing it, there's interesting story developments, there's interesting gameplay, and even though it's a shorter game, it's actually under 20 hours long, every moment you play the game, you're having fun. So, give me a game like that. Stop wasting my time. Give me a game without the bullshit, without the lore, world building. Ooh, I need to be immersed in its universe of bullshit. It's all bullshit. Pull your head out of your ass. It's bullshit. Are you studying how many warts are on the ass of each moblin? That's lore. It's interesting, right? Come on. These fucking people, man. Oh, my God. Anyway. Exactly. Goldfish says, and that's sad because Mafia 3 was one of the worst examples of bloat. Correct. Why is Mafia 2 a better game than Mafia 3? Because in Mafia 3, you had the good, streamlined content that was fun, but then you couldn't do the next story mission until they forced you to do grinding, boring, open world gameplay of base takeovers, gang takeovers, and it sucked ass. It was like, why are you wasting my time and making me do 20 to 30 hours of boring bullshit to advance your otherwise great plot? Fuck you. Stop wasting my time. Why? They wanted to slap a tag on. This game has 60 hours of content. No, it doesn't. It has 15 hours of content with 40 hours of time wasting. It's not the same. Okay. So anyway, here's the funny part about it is we just played an RPG, right? We just played a classic, Final Fantasy V. Remember that one? You remember how that one had a lot of interesting stuff in the story, but also side content that was fun and meaningful? You want to talk about a game? The classics got it right. The classic games did it absolutely correctly with the balance. That if you so choose to do this optional super dungeon or fight this optional super boss, you could do it. You didn't have to. There was enough meaningful content in the main story that was challenging and fun, and the plot was interesting, kept you engaged. The classics did it right with RPGs. And then somehow along the way, they just lost their way. You know what it is? It really was the era when RPGs meshed with MMOs. Because all of a sudden, instead of it being the meaningful stuff in the RPG, they just said, let's throw in a bunch of MMO shit. Let's have you go search for the meaningless item for world building purposes. Let's go have you kill 400 mobs to get a random item dropping down. Why did they fuse? MMOs work because they're supposed to be online social experiments with time investment, so you're having fun with a group. I don't need to have MMO elements in my single player RPG. I never did. It was really when the fusion happened that all of a sudden everything fucked up for RPGs and became a waste of everyone's time. It really was. And it hasn't improved. It's gotten worse. It keeps pushing towards that. Every game is an MMO. No, they're not. Not every game is game as a service. Not every game is a time waster game. And not every game is an MMO. Just because I'm playing an RPG doesn't mean I want 100 hours. If it's 100 meaningful hours, I'll gladly take it. But I don't need 100 hours where 60 hours are boring time wasters. Give me 40 hours of good content. And tell me where the good content is so I can do it. Not that you give me a 100-hour world, oh, but the good content's hidden over here to the side, and you kind of have to stumble upon it yourself. No, just tell me where to fucking go. All right. I've ranted and ranted again. I think we're done with the rants here, okay? Let's seriously stop with the ranting, all right? But I think you see my point. Once we finish with Diablo, once we finish with Zelda, We need variety. We need to be doing something completely different. We'll see if I continue with Final Fantasy 16 after this week. Let's see how the game goes, all right? I want your feedback, really. When I'm streaming Final Fantasy 16, come on by. Let me know what you think. By the end of this week, I would like to make a determination. Are we continuing with this game? Or is it actually so badly designed with this bloat and bad pacing that it's too boring and we don't want to continue? Because I don't want to commit myself. By the way, I have no clue how long Final Fantasy 16 is. I don't want to commit myself to another 80-hour playthrough where we're going to be bored for 2 months. I'm being honest, I've had enough of that. I want something that's going to be entertaining to all of us. Not that we're sitting around with our thumbs up our butts, bored to tears, falling asleep. Okay, so let's see what happens in the next week, and then we'll make a determination for ourselves. Okay? Okay. Folks, we've got a couple news stories to cover today. All right, let's talk about said news stories. News story number 1. This game, Sea of Stars, you guys have started to tell me about it, but I don't know what it is. So Sea of Stars is getting a demo coming to Xbox on July 11th. But I don't know what it is, and I saw some people are asking me to check it out. So here's the thing. This week, if we do wrap up these playthroughs, all right, we will likely be able to try out something like that. But I don't know what the demo is. I don't know what the game is. Does anyone know? If anyone could explain, because a few people have been asking me about this in the last weeks. Are you going to play the Sea of Stars demo? Like, what is Sea of Stars? I don't know what it is. So give me some more data on that if you're interested, or let me know you want to see it. That's definitely something that we could check out. I guess people are saying Sea of Stars is an RPG made by an indie company, and it's been completely inspired by Chrono Trigger. Really? Really? Game inspired by Chrono Trigger, a game that I've wanted to play for years, but there's no way to play it in a modern setting. Would that be something I'd be interested in? A game inspired by one of my most favorite classic RPGs of all time, and I've been craving to play recently, but haven't had the means to do it. I think perhaps we should check that out, no? Oh, shit, I clicked the wrong thing. The Sea of Stars demo supposedly comes out the 11th. Okay, on Xbox. I think we should try it. So that definitely should be something we do once I wrap up Diablo and Zelda. Maybe we do it next week on a late stream. Give it a shot. All right, that sounds interesting to me. Cool. Also, the other big story right now that's going on is that Meta, which used to be Facebook, but now they're called Meta because they actually wanted to rebrand their company to be a name to sound like they're more important than they are and more like observant than they are about anything. They're not. They're actually really short-sighted and a terrible company, but they want to sound like they're Meta, so they name themselves Meta, right? So this company has launched their own version of Twitter that's called Strands, is it? Or Threads, or like Loose String. I think it's called Loose Strings. That's the name of it, Loose Strings. You know how when you have a shirt and there's like a dangling string off of it, and you're like, oh, God, and it bothers you. You're like, oh, fuck, I hate having a dangly string. And all you want to do is you want to wrap it around your finger, rip it off your shirt, right? That's what they actually named their company after. You know, it's genius. They also made a logo. Have you seen the logo? Are you ready for this? You're going to have a good laugh about this. This is the fucking logo. What the fuck is that? Is that a inverted 6 inside of a 6? Is that a piece of like hair that got stuck in your belly button and you pulled it out? Is that like a curly pig's tail? Like, what the fuck is that? It's probably the worst logo I've ever seen for anything in my life because it's a joke. First of all, can you reproduce that logo? Right now, could you draw that? Right? It's probably one of the hardest, most complicated logos to do. And, you know, when you want a logo, you want something that's easy to recognize and synonymous with your brand. What I see, it's like one of the most fucked up. It's like, I wanted to draw a logo. And then as you were drawing, you're like, oh, choo, oh, choo, choo, choo. Oh, shit. Well, there's my logo, right? So it's a joke. In addition, within a day of it launching, because so many people are up in arms about Twitter since Musk bought it, Elon Musk. They want another alternative to Twitter. So they all went and downloaded it. There was like 2 million users within a day. And I think within like 2 or 3 days, they've gotten like 8 million users over on this Thread app. All right. But immediately people don't like it because, number one, apparently it's really, really bad for trending. Like, for example, let's say you follow 20 people. It won't just give you content from those 20 people. It'll continuously throw their own AI generated suggestions at you. And people are like, yeah, this is terrible. This is not shit that I want. It looks like I don't want this. I wanted the 20 things I follow is what I want content on, and they're not giving it to me. In addition, already people are finding they're getting censored left, right, up, and down. People are trying to talk about politics and things, and all their posts are getting, oh, this is a sensitive topic. It must be censored on the site. So all that stuff's getting fucked with. And then on top of that, they're already getting sued. We're like 2 days in, maybe 3 days into this new app. They're already getting sued by Twitter because guess what? It's been revealed that the people who worked on and launched this app, Threads or whatever it's called, actually are people who he fired, Elon Musk. It's the people he fired from Twitter. They left the company and they gave proprietary data from Twitter, which they're not allowed to do. When you work for a company and you sign a contract, it says any proprietary data about how this website or business operates, you cannot disclose to any rivals or you are legally liable to be sued. Okay? So apparently the people he fired got hired by Meta. And then Mr. Zuckerberg and all of his wisdom says, well, since all we know how to do is copy, we don't innovate, we just copy everyone else, we want to make our own Twitter. So we're going to hire these former employees who got fired, get as much information out of them as possible about how Twitter runs, and we'll launch our own Twitter. So they've already been sued. Elon Musk has thrown a lawsuit at them saying, no, you can't do this. This is our idea. Everything here is proprietary. You can't just take the ideas from employees who I fired and try to make your own version of what we're already doing that's proprietary, so we're suing your ass. Anyway, the whole thing's a big mess. It's funny because already people have asked me, am I going to make a Threads account? To which I responded, no, I'm not. All right, here's why. There's 2 reasons why I'm not going to make a Threads account. All right, reason number 1, in all the years where I've had a Twitter account, okay, I have found absolutely positively 0 positive impact for having that account outside of just having a public place to talk about stuff when things go wrong. So for example, if my stream went down today, I would post on my Twitter, hey guys, my internet's out or whatever, so I'll get it working, I'll let you know when I'm back or whatever, right? That's really the use of it. But the thing is, in recent years, since I now started posting on the community tab of YouTube and things like that, basically less and less use has come out of Twitter to the point where I've actually almost completely stopped using Twitter except for posting up schedules. That's about it, right? Anytime that I've gone viral on Twitter, my viral tweet about Pro Jared years ago, my viral tweet about the Oscars and all that stuff has benefited my business 0%. I haven't gotten an additional viewer. I haven't gotten an additional dollar. I haven't gotten an additional anything from being viral on Twitter. Twitter is literally a waste of time. It's just a bunch of people dicking around, being stupid and immature, and getting at each other's throats for nonsensical purposes. It's bullshit. Unless you're going to focus your entire online experience on Twitter, meaning, I want to post content on Twitter. It's all about blowing up. And then if you become an online influencer and you have enough of a following on Twitter that you get paid sponsorships, then it benefits you. Outside of that, it's literally nothing whatsoever to benefit anyone like me online. It's always been a waste of my time. So that's number 1. Number 2, I fucking hate Facebook. Facebook is like, to me, the equivalent of Walmart in the retail space. What Facebook did is they swooped in and they took over social media when they did. They convinced everyone to use it, even though it's detrimental overall to society because of the amount of ads, the amount of scams, the amount of bad things that happen on Facebook. So many idiots ran to Facebook in the millions upon millions and put all their private information up publicly, completely exposing themselves to online harassment and all kinds of problems in their lives, but they were too damn ignorant to see the writing on the wall of what they were doing. And so, I remember when I first started on YouTube, I didn't have a Facebook. and people yelled at me to have a Facebook. So eventually I made a Facebook page, but then the Facebook had limitations of how many friends you could have. So I had a Facebook fan page. And then I tried to mirror on my Facebook what I would post up on my Twitter and all of that. It was a major nightmare. And what ended up happening was, really it was just a mirror page where I mirrored things from other social media. Anyway, I never really used it for any, distinct purposes. And what ended up happening was the thing got hacked. Like, so many people would try to log into my Facebook page that Facebook would freeze the page constantly. So every time I needed to do something on Facebook, it was frozen. And guess what the restoration process is on Facebook? You'll love this one. Can you name these people who are on your friends list? Can I name the people on my friends list to restore my account? No. The people on my friends list are my viewers and fans online. I have thousands of them who signed up and are my friends on here. I don't know who they are. I don't know all their names. So how would I ever restore my account? So the only way to restore the account would be to make a fucking phone call to an employee, go through this verification process, and get it unfrozen, just to have it be frozen within 2 more days from more people trying to hack into it. So after a while, I said, you know what? Fuck this place. This place is a waste of everyone's time. It's detrimental to society. It's detrimental to me, wasting time on it. I'm never using it again. So eventually I closed down all my Facebook pages and they're gone. They've been frozen for ages. I have no presence on Facebook. And then they changed to Meta. I didn't give 2 fucks about that either. I just completely ignored it. So now you say, oh, Meta is now going to make Threads a competitor to Twitter. I'm like, yeah, I don't fucking care. You want to know who ran to it? The idiots who still use Facebook. People who still think Facebook is a safe, positive place to be. They don't understand their data's being used for malicious purposes. Their shit's getting hacked. They're getting harassed because of the shit on there. They're dunces. Those are the people who, oh, wait, there's a competitor to Twitter and it's on something I already have. Let's get over there. Okay, whatever you say. So, basically the way I see it is, it's a waste of time. I'm not going to bother with it. If Twitter implodes and goes away and I need to have a third-party social media site, then I will look into other options. As of now, the best way to follow me is to subscribe to DSP Gaming, to subscribe to DSP Reacts, to look at the community post daily. That's where the information is of what's going on with me. Yes, I mirror that on Twitter. Regardless, it's there so you can find it. But that's just because it's kind of a legacy thing. On Twitter, I still have like 26,000 followers or something like that, which is crazy for the fact that I don't use it. Once a day, I post up a schedule, and twice a day, I post up a link to a stream, and that's it. There's nothing else there. I still have the amount of followers I do is pretty crazy. So, yeah, I'm not using Threads. Fuck that. But we'll see what happens. This is an interesting story to see 2 multi-billionaires go at it over a complete waste of everyone's time. Very nice. All right. That's the news for today. What I'd like to do is get to shout-outs now. We'll get through shout-outs, and we'll see what time it is and go from there. So, on the YouTube side of things, thank you all for your amazing amount of support this morning. So, first of all, Nathan Smith gifted 20 memberships. Thank you, Nathan. Sassy Girl 41 became a member. Thank you, Sassy Girl. Nathan Smith gifted another 20 memberships. Thank you, Nathan. Jack Anderson re-upped his membership for 16 months and said, good morning, my neighbors. Thank you. Luthace gifted 10 memberships. Thank you, Luthace. Norscout did a $10 super chat. I said, what are your thoughts on the new seasonal content in Diablo? I'm personally excited for the cage chart system. If you decided what character you'll play, I'm thinking about playing a Necro. I have no idea because I don't know anything about it. I don't even understand what it is. I don't. So I need information on what is the seasonal system? How is it going to work? What's the point of it? Does it something my viewers would like to see or I would like to play? I don't know. I know nothing whatsoever about it. I need to be educated. Chef Boyardee did a super chat and said, how are you doing, my boy? Hi, chat. What's going on, Chef Boyardee? Good to see you today. Thank you for the support. Nathan Smith did another 10 memberships at one point here. That got us up to the 505 that we're at now. Jack Anderson did a super chat. Says, do you not think in terms of games, movies, and music, everything seems to be a rehash of things back from the 90s? In a lot of ways, you're right. This does happen in waves when it comes to the arts. What ends up happening is there's trends, and the trends become popular, and then they die out, but then basically people try to go back on those trends later on. Like, are you guys aware that they're making another fucking Ninja Turtles movie? It comes out this summer, and it's incredibly awful. The Ninja Turtles aren't even teenage. They're like kids. And they completely changed every single character's ethnicity. Every single character's character is completely redrawn from the ground up different. Like on purpose to piss you off. So if you liked classic Ninja Turtles, there's no chance you like this one. They completely changed it on purpose. and you watch it, and the art style's awful. They're trying to copy the Spider-Verse movies, and it looks like shit. And I'm like, everything about this looks terrible. Like, absolutely terrible. I don't know. But that's the point. Like, they just keep rehashing over and over because they have no original thoughts. North Scout, I literally just read and responded to your super chat, so you weren't paying attention. I absolutely did. So thank you, Jack. And then Luthace dropped another 10 member bomb on the channel, which means we're technically, or we should be at 515. I might confirm that now. I should confirm if we're at 515 or not, because I might have lost track at some point there. Okay. Someone just says, well, it's just a movie for kids. As long as kids like it, it's okay. Well, my point is, if they were going to make another movie, it didn't have to be Ninja Turtles. You understand? You don't have to take the lore and the world of something we've already seen since the 1980s and redo it a millionth time because you have no creativity, but now change it so much that it's not recognizable to what the original thing was to say, oh, it's a kid's movie. Yeah, it's a kid's movie, so don't do Ninja Turtles. Do, I don't know, flying, kung fu, alley cats, mutant alley cats, right? And at least you can say it's a Ninja Turtles knockoff, but at least it's not Ninja Turtles and you're not ruining it by rehashing the same thing a millionth time in a poor way. Just do something original for yourselves and stop copying everyone else's ideas. Because you know what it is? We actually watched the documentary about it. Eastman and Laird sold the rights to Ninja Turtles in the late 2000s. And if you haven't noticed since then, there hasn't been a single good thing of Ninja Turtles. It's been over a decade. There's been nothing. It's all trash. Michael Bay made 2 shit movies, right? And the animation hasn't been good. And now they got this. It's all trash since they sold the rights. Because they basically gave up all creative control. And now everything is garbage. It's pretty sad. Anyway, let's continue. Now let's swing to the tips side of things. So not surprisingly, Game Trekker has a lot to say about my gameplay in this last week of Street Fighter 6. And he starts off today with a $29.99 tip. So thank you very much, Game Trekker, for that. Fuck. Where's my home row? Okay. Here we go. We start off with Game Trekker. He says the following. It's time for a series of tips with tips from yours truly. I'll start today talking about drive parry. You already understand the value of perfect parry. That is correct. With a perfect parry in Street Fighter 6, the screen freezes, you get a counterattack. Not so much holding the buttons, you're right. Holding the buttons down, I don't really understand the benefit. As I said before, drive parry is essentially an EX block. It covers highs, lows, cross-ups, etc. So anytime you hold the buttons, you're guaranteed to block. There was a moment during your last Street Fighter 6 stream where you were stuck in the corner against a jury. You tapped drive parry, leading to get punish counter during the recovery and hit with a combo, but I guarantee the jury player didn't confirm that speedy sequence. All those attacks would have been parried if you held the buttons. Could this have gotten you out of the corner? No, but you could have built a bunch of drive meter up and it would have been your turn. FYI, when you parry an attack, your recovery afterward is exactly the same as if you had done a block. Plus, just like with blocking, you can't be thrown during that recovery. So what you're saying is, and this is interesting, and now I'm learning, parrying, standard parrying is the same as blocking, right? And you get drive meter back. If you just block, you lose drive meter. So constantly blocking is not beneficial because you lose drive, and now you have setups where you can get, drive impacted into the corner or whatever, right? So I get what you're saying. You're saying when you're in a situation where they're going to be rushing you down and attacking you a lot, you should be drive parrying. Okay. See, this is very important. Things that I'm a month into the game and I don't understand. All right. Second tip. This one is a $5 tip. Of course, it's from Game Trekker. And he says, continuing about drive parry. The only time when you can be thrown during its recovery is if you release the button without parrying something. Yes, it results in a punish counter, just like if you're grabbed out of the drive parry stance itself. So if you parry something, you cannot be thrown after. If you don't parry and you're just standing there waiting and nothing hits, then you can throw through it. However, the recovery is generally too fast for this to be done on reaction. In addition, it's super important to remember you can block during its recovery, even if you didn't parry anything. So, when you tapped drive parry against the jury, you still would have been able to block her low kick if you just held down back on the stick. See, I didn't know that at all. I thought maybe there's recovery from it. You're saying there is no recovery. It's instant block. Okay. By the way, here's a use for drive parry that Diaphone recommended in the video. Parrying jump-ins, especially because it ignores cross-ups. If you're not sure which side your opponent's going to land on, or heck, even if you are, drive parry will parry the jumping normal and recover drive meter when you're at it. You regain something like a full bar of drive every time that you parry a normal. Fair enough. So, if someone's jumping at you and you don't have the spacing for an anti-air properly, for example with Blanca, sometimes they're jumping right over me and they're crossing me up, and an up ball likely is going to miss, you're saying drive parry it. Okay, this is very interesting. I received another $5 tip from Game Checker. And this is again about drive parry. We're all learning here today on the podcast. He says, there's another example I'm emphasizing there's another reason I'm emphasizing the example of using drive parry against jump-ins, by the way. Diaphone pointed out you're way overusing drive reversal as a response after blocking jump-ins, sometimes losing entire matches because your opponent blocked it or neutral jumped. You even agreed with him during your podcast episode, but then you forgot about it. Didn't forget about it. I wasn't doing it, and people were constantly on me when I was Zangief. As I was even stating as Zangief, I was like, man, it doesn't feel like Zangief has tools to get someone off you. They could seriously just keep kind of doing this jump at a certain angle, and I can't stop the jump, and therefore they're always in the position where I can't do anything, and they just keep me in lockdown stun. And because of that, I got frustrated. I was like, the only way to get them off me is to do drive reversal again, and it was working. It was pushing them away, and it was allowing me to continue with my gameplay. All right? So, by the way, anyone who is bitching in the chat is getting banned right now. I've had enough. The whole point of this podcast is to suck in knowledge about games and the like. This is the time for this kind of discussion. If you don't like it, don't watch the podcast and come back when I'm playing the game because you're complaining about contributions and me learning about the game. Fuck you. Leave. Okay, continuing on. So, he says, if you're not ready to anti-air jump in, drive parry is a much better option than block into a drive reversal. Besides the potential for lucking into a perfect parry, you'll build your drive meter and it's no worse of a position than if you just blocked. The only way for the opponent to beat this option is to empty jump throw. How often do you see anyone do that in Street Fighter 6? Against Zangief? A lot. That is the actual truth. Against Zangief? A lot. Against everyone else? Not so much. But against Zangief, a lot of people just seem to be empty jumping constantly and waiting to see what Zangief does. And I think that's a problem with Zangief. Zangief doesn't have an option or an answer for it. He doesn't. Like I'll give you an example. Once we're finished talking about the Game Checker stuff, I saw people talking about Zangief on social media in the last day. And the consensus of people playing Street Fighter 6 is that this is one of the weakest iterations of Zangief ever. He is too slow. He doesn't have the tools to succeed. And he even has detriments I wasn't aware of. We'll talk about that in a second. But anyway. So he says, learning better use of drive parry would be huge for your Street Fighter 6 gameplay, especially with Zangief, which is what I want to bring up next. Okay. We got another tip, I believe. Wait a minute. Now I think I screwed up. Did I just delete the wrong thing? Yeah. I accidentally deleted the wrong fucking thing. Ugh. Now how do I get to it? God damn it. Here it is. Okay. This is another $5 tip in regards to Zangief. All right. Like, seriously, I gotta just think about how dumb some of these people are here who are complaining. I want to think about this. We're on a podcast. The podcast discusses all the games I'm currently playing. Someone wants to contribute to the podcast and give me concrete advice about the game we're literally about to play. Oh, that's bad. Sit in the chat and complain. Fuck you. Go away. Stop bothering all of us who are intelligent and are trying to learn and get better at games. All right, just leave. Okay. So, lastly, Zangief. Actually, there's a lot of what I want to say about him, you playing him. I'll save most of it for another time. First off, goddamn, the way you play him is super meter hungry. I highly recommend using regular spinning clothesline to end combos instead of the OD version. See, you're right, but I didn't know that you don't need to use the OD version to get it to combo. I guess you don't, because the people who I was watching, remember I told you I'd watched some videos online, right? The videos always showed the combo ending in OD lariat. So I was of the impression you needed to do that, but now you're saying you don't. You're saying regular lariat would have worked. I didn't know that. I'll have to use that next time so I'm not burning meter. In addition, one of the reasons why I keep doing meter burn lariat is because they changed the inputs of it in this game. In old Street Fighter, to do a lariat, you actually needed to press 3 punches or 3 kicks together. In this one, it's just 2, but if you press all 3... right? Then you do the meter burn version. I'm used to pressing all 3. So if I want a spinning clothesline, which is what I call it, not lariat, I press all 3, but then I get meter burn. You see? So this is something on me from just having muscle memory from old school Street Fighter and them actually changing the inputs in this new one. So I need to get better at that. This I will completely agree with you. It seems like whenever I play Zangief, I'm running out of meter constantly. And that's a huge issue. Okay, so Game Trigger says, yes, using the standard lariat works with every combo route you've been using, and the extra damage you get from the OD version is only negligible. Second, you keep complaining about neutral jump escapes all of his pressure. He has a move specifically designed to beat that, a 360 air grab. If you expect your opponent to jump to evade your grounded 360, do the air one. Yes, I know that's a read, a prediction, a guess. Zangief is all about that in the game. It's what you're signing up for when you try to play with that character. I have a counter to that. I agree with you, but it doesn't really, it's not foolproof. Sadly, it's not a real solution to the issue of the neutral jump. Here's why. The neutral jumping has 2 negatives to trying to air 360 it. The first is the spacing. Zangief, when he's jumping and does air 360, goes slightly above himself right here, and basically he can grab like a region here. Neutral jump is here. So if he's going up here, you see, it has to be at the exact right angle where they intersect. If not, you whiff. In which case, you're going to get kicked in the face. In addition, a lot of characters have really, really good air normals in this game. I've noticed that. Certain characters like Luke or Minot have really good air normals, and if hit at the right angle, even moves you would think would beat them in the air get stuffed anyway. So air 360 works if they're neutral jumping and not planning on pressing a button. Like we talked, if they're going to neutral jump and then throw when they land, it'll work. If they're neutral jumping and waiting to see what Zangief does, and then, oh, let me kick and do a combo, you're fucked. Basically, if he tries to do air 360, they could easily just stuff it. Right? Casanova, what are you talking about? I need to change an N to an M. In what? Oh, there's an... I see. I spelled his name wrong. Thank you. I didn't notice I hit the wrong button. Thank you for telling me. Okay. So here's the thing. Air 360 is nice, but much like a lot of Zangief's moves, it's a trick. You have to fool them into landing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a guaranteed, oh, if they neutral jump, I'll just do air 360, grabs them every time. It won't. Because the spacing and things, unless I'm wrong and they've made it a vacuum move that sucks everything in a radius around it in, because that's not how the spinning clothesline, or excuse me, the spinning pile driver is on the ground. You know? But I guess we could try, right? Again, all we could do is try. There's other things I haven't used either. Like, for example, Zangief has a kick grab, where it counters all kicks, supposedly. And if I do that against, like, a Ken who's doing the kick bullshit, maybe it'll work. I don't know. I would have to try it, but I forgot he even had it. I totally forgot Zangief had a kick grab. Maybe it would work against all those crazy kicks that Ken does. I don't know. All right. So, to end here, Game Tracker says, I agree. He's one of the weaker fighters in the game right now. And I doubt that his read-oriented playstyle will change even when he's better balanced. Yeah, I mean, I'll give you an example here. Like I said, I was reading some threads on social media about Zangief and people's reactions to Zangief. And sadly, here's what they've discovered. Zangief has built-in weaknesses. For example, did you know that when Zangief gets drive burned, his drive meter burns out, it takes him 20% longer to recover drive meter than everyone else? And if you remember when I was playing and I was burning out, I was saying, why is it taking me so long to get drive meter back? Doesn't it seem like this is taking abnormally long? I was right. They actually made it so it takes longer to get drive meter. And people are surmising that basically the problem with him is when they were building the game and they made the drive rush, they thought having drive rush into 360 or drive rush into tick throw into 360 would be too powerful. So they figured, let's make it so that if he makes mistakes and loses drive meter, he's so weak that to get it back that he loses the round because he's so strong when he has it. In reality, what we're finding is the drive rush with Zangief actually isn't that good. It's all right, but it's not that good. So it sounds like the game developers overestimated how good Zangief would be having maneuverability around his throws, and sadly now he's one of the weakest characters in the game because they didn't give him the tools and they gave him too much recovery. So if anything, they should rebalance him, I feel, and they should make it so that some of his moves have better properties. Like, I feel like Lariat should be a better anti-air. Lariat is only good as an anti-air from someone jumping straight ahead. If they're over you, it doesn't hit. If they're above you, it doesn't hit. They should make Lariat a true anti-air with invincibility frames. Now, you can't fucking jump on Zangief, in which case, it's a whole new game now, right? Right now, the problem is if Zangief's in the corner, you can jump on him all day. He can't do anything besides drive parry. That's it. So that's what I'm thinking. And then in addition, yeah, he shouldn't have 20% longer to recover his drive meter. That's just stupidity. Like, he's already a slow character. Now you're making him even slower. Zach says Zangief's kick grab will counter Juri, Blanca, Cammy, Guile, DJ, Chun-Li, Kimberly, and Minot's drive impact. Because they're kicks. Now that's interesting. Okay. Very good. No, I don't have a negative win-loss ratio. Monkey Spank, go fuck yourself and enjoy your permanent ban. He says, I shouldn't talk about Street Fighter 6 at all in any competitive capacity because I have a negative win-loss ratio, which I don't. He's a complete idiot. Okay. Continuing on. I received a $1.50 tip from an anonymous tipper. He says, what about an RPG like Persona 5 where the side content is the meat of the game? You know, that's an interesting question. I think Persona is really unique because the side content of Persona, right? Or you can even argue the side content of a game like Lost Judgment. Remember Lost Judgment? The side content about the school stories did not tie into the main storyline, but was like its own game, right? In Persona series, if you don't do the side missions, you're essentially missing all of the character building of the game, right? Like, you need to be doing all the side missions for the main characters, for the different social links and things. So the way I see it is, what's considered meaningful and what's not? Well, if you're doing side content in an RPG and you feel like you're getting tons of additional story, you're getting more meaning around the characters and things about the world, and it all makes sense. Oh, and by the way, most of the content that you do, like in Persona, is meaningful to the game. Because when you're doing those social links, you're leveling up your oh my god, why can't I remember the names of them? The summon monsters, what are they called in that game? I can't even remember the name of it now. But you're leveling them up. And you constantly confuse better ones because you're leveling up those social links. It's not like you're doing it, and by the way, oh, so you did some world building, good for you. Here's a gil bug to sell for 100 gil. It's completely worthless. Right? Right? Oh, Persona. They're just called Personas. Duh, no wonder I couldn't think of a complex name because it's not complex. So you're leveling up your personas, you're leveling up your ability to fuse the personas, so it's meaningful. Not only are you getting additional story that does add to the game, but you're also leveling up things that you need for combat that make the game better. Do you see the difference between that and Final Fantasy 16? It's completely different. Okay. I received a $1 tip. Hold on, it's a troll. Ignore that. What about this one? Snow Carl, I watched some of your Final Fantasy 16 playthrough. I noticed that you complain about the game quite a bit. Would it be more in line with your integrity and beliefs to drop the game? Well, number one, I spent $70 on it. Number two, I don't feel that just getting to Act 2, which essentially is the meat of the game, right, supposedly, is enough to judge it yet. Perhaps maybe the rest of the game will be a little different. I don't know. We won't know till we get there. But like I said, this is basically this week. So we're going to have a stream on Saturday. Sadly, the stream will be interrupted. And we're going to have another major stream of it on Tuesday. So if in another 4 to 5 hours, this game isn't interesting me as much, we're going to make a decision together. Do I keep it or not? All right? We'll figure it out. Snowcrawl did another tip. Did you manage to play an active and semi-professional level at your age? He says, I'm nearing the end of my 20s. I feel fatigued playing a few hours of Dota or FIFA. Do you do hand stretching exercises? I could if I needed to. And I do have things such as hand exercisers. See? And these help a lot, actually. Something like this, a little egg. Just squeezing. It allows everything in your hand to be... Oh, it feels good, too. When you squeeze hard on something like this, dude, it actually... all the muscles in your arms start getting worked, and it feels really good. It does, you know? For someone who, for me, like, I'm playing games all day, something like this could be a godsend. When I get older and I start getting, you know, carpal tunnel issues and things, yeah, it's just something as simple as this, all right? And, of course, you know, stretching. Fingers out. But, no, usually with fighting games, it's not an issue. Last month, I did have an issue. One day, I had pulled a nerve in my neck, and I had problems. But outside of that day, it hasn't been an issue. I mean, it might be an issue moving forward. We'll see. But for now, I'm good. All right, and then I received a $5 tip from Jack Anderson. When will the next Ask the King be? That I don't know yet, because we literally put it on indefinite hiatus because we've been so busy with game releases for the past couple of months, we just haven't had time to do it. Right? Originally, we were going to do it in late May. We delayed it then because I was in the middle of Tears of the Kingdom and other games, and we knew that Street Fighter was around the horizon, and we wanted to finish up the games I was playing, which we did. If you remember, we finished Final Fantasy V, we finished Jedi Survivor, we wrapped all those up before Street Fighter 6 came out. Now, this last month, we've been so busy with RPGs and Street Fighter 6, again, we don't really have time for this optional stuff. So, we're holding off. Ask the King will return eventually, but I just don't know when yet. Will it be July? Will it be August? Maybe August. Maybe we'll bring back Ask the King as a thing for my anniversary. Remember, I'm doing my 15th anniversary celebration in August, so maybe we'll bring it back as like, you know, here's a legacy show. We're finally bringing it back for the anniversary or something, right? Now he says, for your Street Fighter 6 playthrough, are you connected with a cable or using wireless? Always cable, as you can see. I'm thinking in terms of lag. Funny enough, having that cable may create more lag than wireless. I'm not even shitting you. Because the way these joysticks and controllers work with the consoles is so weird. Sometimes they test, and they actually find that a wired joystick has more input delay than the wireless controller. I'm serious about that. I know that sounds really stupid and doesn't make sense, but it's true. So I don't even know. This particular stick, which is the Fighting Stick Alpha, you know, I didn't research it. It was gifted to me. So I didn't research it. I didn't find out if it was the optimal joystick for Xbox. I'm just using what I have and going with the flow and rolling with it, all right? And I know it might not be the best setup, but I mean, I like the joystick. I tend to not blame it on the stick. I don't think there's a problem with my stick. I think the issues are me. I think that Street Fighter 6 has so many changes to the way that the game is controlled compared to previous Street Fighter games, you know, with these input shortcuts and more lax inputs and stored inputs, that I just constantly make mistakes because I'm not used to playing it. And I feel like, you know, eventually, hopefully I'll get to the point where I'm not accidentally doing the wrong things all the time. I would hope. Because, man, that's going to suck if long-term I never get better and I keep making these same mistakes. But the only way you could stop making them is to keep playing and get better with muscle memory and execution, right? So, there you go. Who found wired is worse than wireless? Named the source. It was the era of Street Fighter V, and there were joysticks for PS4 that actually were more laggy than using the controller. There were some joysticks that were worse. But I don't have a source to cite. It's been like fucking 7 years, you know? I don't know if today, if they fixed that problem or not. Like I said, I literally just admitted to my audience, I've done no research. I didn't research this joystick to see what the input delay is or anything. I'm just playing with it because it's the joystick I have for Xbox. So why wouldn't I use what I've got? Right? Okay. See, here's what's absolutely hilarious. I just got a tip. Someone saying, it's okay if you say Final Fantasy 16 or Tears of the Kingdom were bloated, but it doesn't make the people who disagree with you objectively wrong. I didn't say they were. You said I said they were. When did I ever sit here and say, hey guys, if you love all the optional content of Final Fantasy 16 and Zelda, you're a moron? When did I say that? I said, for me, for the kind of person I am, for the kind of gamer I am, for the kind of content creator I am, these games with this incredible amount of wasted time and padding is bloat for me, and it's not good. And as gamers who have limited time, we should deserve better and we should demand better. That's what I said. Now, if you're someone who literally sat down with Tears of the Kingdom, and when you got the game, you had no intention of doing anything else but only playing that game in your free time, and you played it at your own pace, and you enjoyed it, whether it was you beat it within a week or you beat it within a month and a half, but you played it out and you played 100 hours, and you felt meaning in all that 100 hours. Good for you. Congratulations. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all. The point I'm making is they're not just making games for people with unlimited time. They're making games that are supposed to appeal to the masses, right? Am I right? Are Nintendo first-party games not supposed to appeal to gamers from all walks of life? So if that's the case, make it so that you can play it streamlined and it's fun. You can play it long-term and it's fun, which I think they did a good job of, honestly. If you take a look at the game, I do feel you could just do the dungeons and not have too much difficulty. Like, that's what I did. I didn't upgrade my armor. I didn't go crazy out of my way to do too many heart upgrades, but I was able to beat the dungeons, right? So I think that they actually did a good job. But when I'm playing the game and other people are shitting on me saying, you played it wrong because you skipped all this content. And I'm like, but I beat the dungeons. So how did I play it wrong? It's the opposite of what you're saying in your dollar tip. I say, you know what? Play these games however you want. And if you enjoy them, great. But I'm explaining to you why I think that they're weak for someone like me. Why are you putting words into my mouth that I'm saying that these games overall are bad? I'm not saying that at all. Did I not say that Tears of the Kingdom is a great game? I can tell you right now, Tears of the Kingdom will likely be in my top 10 games of the year. I can't imagine it not being, unless there's so many outstanding games coming out in the second half of the year that they blow me away. But I think it would be. So why are you saying that I said something I didn't say? And this is the problem with people on the internet, with me particularly. They'll take my rant earlier, where I'm very, I feel, fairly criticizing these games, and they'll say, you see, here's a irate gamer says that these games suck. Never said that. You said that because you have an agenda, because you want me to make me look bad, and you want to say, you see, there's people who don't like our games that are good. No. Stop being like that. Stop being biased. Stop trying to make this straw man argument that doesn't exist. I never said that. Stop with the bullshit, essentially, is what I'm saying. Because it is. What you're doing is you're creating more bullshit around this whole situation that we don't need. Because when that bullshit happens, how do you think games don't improve? Let's be honest here, right? What happened during The Last of Us 2? The straw man argument that everyone who criticized The Last of Us 2 was a bigot, a sexist. Why? Because God forbid that you criticize a game that had a strong female who's kind of has, more masculine characteristics. Oh, that's, oh God, can't criticize that. Or that the lead character was gay. Oh, well, the reason you don't like the game must be because of that. No, it's because the pacing's bad, the writing's bad. It's a horrible story that's almost torture porn. And you took something that was amazing in the first game and you literally bastardized it and ruined it for an agenda, and the game sucks because of it. But all that valid criticism is thrown away because your straw man argument is, oh, you see, because you don't like these other kind of progressive elements in the game. That's bullshit. So when I criticize Tears of the Kingdom, and I tell you, I love the game, but man, I feel like there's too much blow, don't tell me there's a straw man argument that I'm saying that I hated the game. Fuck you. I never said that. Stop with the bullshit. Stop trying to make a villain so that you can now say, you see, only idiots don't like the game. Bullshit. I like the game. I don't like things about the game. I have a right to criticize it. Take your straw man and shove it up your ass. Thanks for the dollar tip. Okay. All right. Guess what? We're finally through all the contributions. So now we can actually end the show and we can move on and we can actually play Street Fighter, which I've wanted to do. I said I was going to try to end the show early, but we literally just finished reading out contributions. So there you go. Very good. Pickle Man, it's good to have you here. I don't have questions for you. We got to move on. All right. Thank you guys for watching the show. I hope it made sense. I'm glad we learned. I'm actually glad I learned a little bit from Game Trekker about this drive parry, which I'm going to try to implement more now. I guess it makes sense, right? Yeah, I guess it was, I missed out. I guess there was this announcement about Mortal Kombat 1 that there's going to be new characters added back to Mortal Kombat 1 that we haven't seen in a while. But I missed the announcement. I have to watch it. I think it was a trailer about the Lin Kuei ninjas. So I think characters like Smoke and even the Cyber ninjas, I think, are back, like Sector and Cyrax. That's neat because they haven't been around since Mortal Kombat 9. So that's nice. And Jade actually brought it up in the chat. He says he's happy to see Smoke back for the first time since NK9. Yeah, that's neat. And I apologize. I haven't really looked up on it yet. I haven't really studied, so I can't really answer yet. Okay? Okay, what is my win-loss ratio? My win-loss ratio is 981 wins, 752 losses. So I have about 230 or so more wins than losses for a grand total of a 57% win rate. I need 19 wins today with Blanca, and then we hit the 1,000th win so we can count down. We're at 982 right now. All right? Or excuse me, 981 right now. So the first win, we're at 982 in climbing. So let's count together today. Let's get hype and excited for the countdown to 1,000. All right? I'm very excited. I hope you guys are too. All right? Do you want to count? People want to counter. All right. Shit. Here's what we'll do. Let's try to shorten this a bit then. Maybe we could just do last SC from now on, right? That's actually much shorter. I'll just do 981. We don't even need to have out of 1,000. There you go. Okay. How's that? That's good. So this is how we can count up to 1,000 today. I'm excited. Yes, casual matches are included in the overall win-loss record, but it's not counted in my percents for each character when it comes to their overall rankings and stuff like that. Okay. Looks good? All right, guys, thank you so very much. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Thank you for being patient and thank you for watching. It is now time for us to re-enter the world of Street Fighter 6. And let's level up my Blanca and let's get that 1,000th win. Shall we? Shall we? Thank you. Yes, I'm nice, buff, and excited for today's stream. I hope that you guys are too. Thank you so much for watching. And hopefully tomorrow on this very show, we'll be able to talk about how triumphant I was. In reality, I'll probably be crying about how much I lost. But all right, guys, thank you. See you tomorrow.